Hey everybody, it's CryptoBirb, Adrian speaking. This is another day, day 10 of our 14-day free trading congress. And well, what can I say? I'm super excited, super stoked. The day is going crazy. There's so much craziness, so much madness going on in the markets as well. And about this, from the technical analysis point of view, from the fundamental analysis point of view, I'm going to be discussing all the insights, all the secrets of the cryptocurrency market with amazing one and only Crypto Banter family and crew with Ran, Niner, and Sheldon. And this is going to be insane stream. This is going to be insane amount of knowledge, everybody. You don't often see Ran or Sheldon joining as guests, but this is going to be special. We're going to make it special. And before we actually get it started, I want you guys to make sure you stay safe for the entire time, because there's so much more, as I said, craze going on in the markets, and you're going to learn everything you have to know for the next upcoming weeks right in a moment. Get tuned and stay right. Yeah, what is up, everybody? What is up, everybody? This is Adrian. This is CryptoBirb. One more time, we have Ran. We have Sheldon, also the sniper, who is actually there. And I think we can get you on the show, Sheldon. Can you hear me?
Yo,
Can
yo,
you hear me,
I can
Sheldon?
hear you. What's up, gents?
What's up, Sheldon?
Yo,
Good
yo.
to see you guys. Good to see you. What's up in the bar? What's up? What's good on the Banter side?
Oh, it's great, man. Great weekend here in Cape Town. Markets are flying. Couldn't be better.
Beautiful weather. Everything's amazing.
Yeah.
How are you, Birb the man? How are you, brother?
Yeah,
it's nice to see you. It's nice to be on this side for once.
Yes.
Yeah. It must feel strange, though. It must feel strange on your end.
It does.
You're the guys. You are the professionals. You are the pros who actually do it, all day, everywhere. And this is pretty exciting to have you on the other side of the screen. Well, we have quite a lot of points to discuss. I don't think there is a need to introduce, you to the beautiful family that we have of the Banter and of the Nest. We have quite a combination today. We have quite a combination of people from the Banter family and from the Birb Nest family celebrating our 14-day free trading congress. And as I promised, we're going to make this show very special, because we are going to break down and analyze and decide, discuss for what's better to use for cryptocurrencies, whether it's a technical analysis side or it's more perhaps fundamental analysis. So we are going to actually just get you guys some debate. If you're ready for the ride, make sure you smash the like, hit the subscribe button as well. Leave some kind comments and questions for Ran and for Sheldon. I'm learning, guys. I'm learning from you. I'm learning from what you guys do. You're very successful on the Banter crew, on the Banter show, and yeah, it's just crazy.
I think we're all very successful, but I think that none of the three of us here are influencers, apparently.
Why is that? You think? Why is
that? I'll show you. Let me share my screen with you. Give me a second. Let me share the screen.
Do it.
Let me just find the right screen. So in Miami, there is. There we go. I think you can see my screen. There's the Blockchain Influencer Awards. So Blockchain Influencer Awards. Someone sent this to me. And it looks like we're not working hard enough. It looks like the Birb Nest and Sheldon and Crypto Banter have to work much harder, because we're not the best daily show. We're not the best interviewers. We're not the funniest influencers. We don't do the best technical analysis. We're not the best news source. We're certainly not the most educational.
How does that even make sense?
Yeah, no, we're not. We have to work much harder next year, I think.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah, at least
it doesn't matter. We'll just have to work harder next year.
Yeah. How was the Portugal? How was Lisbon?
Lisbon was insane. Lisbon was absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
You guys were having fun. I saw the videos. I saw the pictures. That was some wild run.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I saw you were also, Sheldon, you were once actually bombed, pre-hangover on the show. You just, arrived
was
like
our
last
party.
Yeah. What was the party? What was it about?
Then the next day was Ran's hangover day. I think we both had. I even had to wear sunglasses for the actual show.
I worked so hard in Lisbon. You work from the minute you arrive, and then you got to do 2 shows every day, and then you got to go to the conference and actually work, and then shoot the behind-the-scenes footage. and have a party every night and host our own party. That eventually, after the fourth day, on the fourth day, I did 3 shows, plus I shot the backstage, so 4 shows that day. And then I was finished. That's it. I mean, the next day I was supposed to meet Sheldon for breakfast, and I was literally lying in my bed, and I could not get out of bed. I was just like, just lying in the bed.
That is
you eventually made it like 4 hours. 4 hours later, you eventually.
Yeah, 4 hours later I met Sheldon, and then we did what we needed to do. But still, I mean, it was just people don't really understand how hard we work. They think it's we're running around Lisbon, but I mean to do, an average day in the life when we were in Lisbon is I used to wake up at 4 a.m. and between 4 and about 6, I would just look at the markets. At about 6, I would go to gym, probably finish by 7:30. Then again, look at the markets, and we were live at 9 with a show. That was 9 to 10. And then by 10:30, 11, I was at the conference, and I was meeting people, doing another show. I would leave the conference at about 6, get showered, and then by 7, we were at parties, evening parties until, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and then back up again at 5 or 6. You do that for 4 days in a row. And it's, it was crazy shit.
That is getting rough. I think the older you get, the rougher it gets as well for your body.
I don't even think you understand, Birb. I don't know if you've been on with Rand before. I'm only a few months in the game, but the way this man just does not stop. Like as soon as we try get away to Lisbon to try have some sort of break, and he's just on form, just continuously meeting, pictures, interviews, this, just continuing, and here every single damn time. No, I'm learning a lot.
You guys are learning. You guys are legends. People love you. People love you so much. I love you so much as well. This is pretty crazy. Listen, I think with all the experience that you had, for Solana conference in Portugal, and like the time that we had in Dubai as well, around on the fights, that was pretty wild. I think people, who are coming here, also want to hear about the very main topic of the meeting, of the show, of the session, of the trading broadcast that we have over here for 14-day free trading congress, which is the TA versus FA battle. So let's start off with Rand. Perhaps which side you pick, the light side, the dark side, what is it?
Well, look, I'm not sure I'm going to actually pick a side, and I'll be blunt and honest with you. So I am very much a fundamental investor. I'm not a trader. Okay. I don't do short-term trades because it distracts me from the big picture. And I don't know, I made a video the other day about a portfolio of mine, which is a portfolio that went from $35,000 to, I think now $41 million or $42 million.
Good numbers.
And that was just a portfolio which was held from 2017 up until today. And I don't intend to sell it. I found that the most money that I've ever made has been from buying and holding. And not holding because I'm a genius, holding because there was no exit, holding because there was no liquidity to exit. That is where I've got most of my returns in life. Now, I don't know any traders who've ever traded that amount of money, from that amount of money to $41 million that quickly. And so my investment approach is I prefer to invest in tokens and protocols that are going to change the world, and then give them enough support and time to actually do their thing. With that said, to be honest, I wasn't very much a person that used to look at the charts until I met Sheldon. To be honest, I didn't have a respect for the charts. And then I met Sheldon, and Sheldon's calls just used to happen. And then I realized that, hold on, there is something amazing in the charts. And then, of course, Birb, we met after that, and you started to come on the show. And it can't be coincidental when you get so many correct calls and so few incorrect calls. And so what I use now is I use this magic combination of fundamental analysis, but then what I do is I do all the fundamental analysis that I need to do to put me in a position where I'm actually going to buy something. And then I go to the other side of the office and I knock on Sheldon's door. And I say to him, Sheldon, what is a good entry point for this? And then he would come back to me and say to me, he has a good entry point. I'll give you an example. I received a whole lot of Rose tokens, or Asus Lab tokens. It's an investment that I made in 2017 or 2018. And I received the tokens on Friday. And I said to Sheldon, I went to him on Friday. I said, Sheldon, look, this is something that I've had locked up since 2017, and I want to just take out my initial investment. And he looked at me and he said, he drew the chart and he said, look, don't do it. And, I'm glad that he did, because if I look at that token up on the weekend, that token's up 45% this weekend. Oh. So, and then he showed me the chart and he said, look, do not sell. And so that's really how I leverage the technical and fundamental. I don't think it's a technical and fundamental or fundamental. For me, it's both. I look at the fundamentals first. It tells me what I want to buy and what I want to sell. And then I knock on Sheldon's door and he kind of tells me when I should buy it, when I should sell it. Is this a good time or not a good time? So that's kind of like how I look at it. The other thing that I've really learned is you guys as technical analysts are actually just charting human emotion. And human emotion is something that will never, ever change. Humans, for as long as we have been humans, and for as long as we continue to be humans, will behave the same all the time. And that is why we're getting repeats in the market cycle. That's why 2013 is repeated itself in 2017 and is repeating itself in 2021. Why? Because humans will always behave the same. And so it does make sense that there will be patterns in the charts that you guys can recognize, specifically patterns that keep repeating themselves, because one thing will lead to another, one thing will lead to another, one thing will lead to another every single time, because we're human and we continue to be human.
That is pretty well approached. I love it. Sheldon, what about you?
So obviously, me starting off with the TA, when I started looking at the YouTubes and started doing a bit of research, it all looked super confusing. It's just like for fundamentalists, to understand the true backing of these coins and what they actually bring were very tough for me to sort of understand. So I started off obviously with the trading, and I sort of identified the two things, especially the same thing with working with Ran as well. I was never looking at fundamentals. And the problem with us, I'm sure you can say as a TA trader yourself, is, we end up taking profits sometimes too early. We end up not actually, like allowing the coin to actually do what it needs to do. And over time, the best way to make money in crypto is by getting one great entry that you never have to sell again in your life. And, through us, we try to think getting in and out. The more we get in and out, the more money we're going to actually make on the longer road. And then we actually understand that, we spend 6-7 days getting these entries, getting the work. We quickly go to the shops, and then all of a sudden something in that time happens and it just ruins our whole damn plan. So I think what we thought was, by jumping the gun in and out of the market as quick as possible, we're going to beat the bigger guys just by holding it through. And I think that's been the two battles. But what I did pick up from TA and why I still love TA is because exactly that. It managed to pull my emotion out of my actual thinking. The problem is sometimes with fundamentals is you will hold on too much because you fall in love with the coin. So you end up falling in love with the coin. You end up making ridiculous amounts of gains, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000%, and you end up never taking anything. And then you basically go through the full emotion cycle where we go straight up, blow up top, straight down, accumulation, which is great. So I just think the biggest understanding is people just need to understand the two different versions. If you're coming in as a true investor of the technology that's coming out, fundamentals is one of the best things you can do, because over 5 years, 10 years, these things are absolutely powerful. The only thing with TA that I like to include with that is, you've got to have some sort of structure. If you're coming in with a lot of money in the market, fundamentals is perfect. If you're coming in with a little bit amount of money and you don't have a lot of money to work with, you have to work with some sort of structure. You have to learn when to let go. And when I'm entering this trade or when I'm entering this coin, at a certain point, I need to bank a bit more, in case there's bigger pullbacks, and you really need to start to strategize. I think the emotion part I love about technicals, but obviously, giving the time that the trade needs from fundamentals, that is the two powerful things that I've learned. And now I'm looking to basically combine the two. Long-term fundamentals, short-term. I learned how to make $100 a day. I learned how to make then $500 a day. Then I learned how to do this. And people think it's
10 million
tough.
a day.
The problem is, but the problem is people then think they need to be using all of their capital. I use a very small amount of my portfolio every day to actually trade. I trade very often, and I trade and out.
You trade days?
For spending money. I like, at the moment I'm trading one trade a week. I'm using 4-hour, 8-hour, and 12-hour. I don't feel it's a market you should be getting in too much in and out. I think it's quite confusing. Am I here?
Yeah. I can hear you.
Sorry, I lost you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So for now I'm in and out, but mainly my trading is my spending money. I've just learned, I want to go buy groceries for the month. I want to fuel up my car. I want to buy clothes. What is it going to cost me? Let me make that trade. I then go spend the money. So I've just learned to never have to take out of my long term, because I've learned to use a little generating tool that when I need money, this is how I need to make it. But when I enter that, I need to know where my exit point is. And I have to stick to it, because every time I don't listen to my damn rules or my structure, the market kicks my butt when that greed tells me it can go a lot more. So I think TA with structure is powerful, and fundamental also with a bit of structure going into it. I think you've got a powerful strategy.
I think both of you are discounting. I think there's a lot of things that you guys are not. I'm very much against trading. Because I've never seen a trader make as much money as someone who's bought and hold. And I can show you traders that have traded Uber, Amazon, Google, in and out. All they've done is they would have made more money if they would have just held it. That's number one. The other thing that you guys are not taking into account is the fact that every time that you exit the trade, you're paying income tax, not capital gains tax. You're paying income tax. Income tax in most jurisdictions is the highest form of taxation. In South Africa, it's a 46% tax or 47% tax, but depending on where you are in the world. And that's every time that you're trading in and out. So what you're doing is you may have made $100, but you've only got $50 left because the rest of it is going to tax. So it's every time you think you've made 100, you made 50. You made 100, you made 50. If you hold these things, then eventually after a certain amount of time, you end up paying capital gains tax if you ever sell. And in most countries, capital gain tax is about 50% of what income tax is. So, it's all cool to trade in and out. And I'll be honest with you, the only time I trade out, I set myself certain goals, and then I trade out just so I can have more money to invest in other projects. So whoever, I don't know, example, we make 5x, we take out the original investment, we put it back in the bucket, and we hold that bucket to invest in 100 other investments. And, because the market's going up, it seems to continue and continue and continue. So that's really when I like to trade. But when I look at trading, if you're in a market where you're dealing with technology that is about to change the entire world, and if you're trading in and out of the winners, I guarantee you that you're not beating. I guarantee you that on a certain time period you'll beat them, but on a long-term time period, there's no way that you're going to beat the performance of the top performing altcoins. If you would have put $5,000 into Aave in 2017 and just held it, you would have $110 million today. Okay, now you could never have traded that. Tell me what you want, unless you were going to be highly leveraged and hit them all at the same time. You would never have caught that. You would never, ever, ever have caught that. And that's why I think when I take the tax and I take the other stuff, the third thing is trading is addictive. It's addictive because it gets dopamine going in your body, and dopamine is absolutely addictive. I mean, we can argue about it as much as you want. So the problem is that you find that traders overtrade. So I have a friend, I keep talking about the same guy. He bought Render at 80 cents, and then he traded out of it at $2 because it had the run of its life, and then he bought back at $4, and he's holding it up now to $8. Now, you look at what he did was, he got a tax liability from selling at 50 cents to $2, so he paid 75 cents in tax, basically, and then he also missed $2 on the 25% of the upside. I can't see the logic. I would rather spend my time. Rather spend my time on fundamentals, and then I would use the technicals like I use the technicals, which is, Sheldon, I've decided I want to buy Solana. What is the best entry point? Should I be buying now? Or Sheldon, I've decided that I want to get out of a certain position. Would you get out now, or would you give it a little bit more time to run? And that's where I've really been getting amazing returns. I think my portfolio performance has increased by at least 100%. Since I started talking to Sheldon before every trade.
That is pretty good indicator. You should come up with some sort of Sheldon's forecasting online or something like that, like all the fortune tellers do.
Birb, you know what it is? I'll tell you one thing. It's the power of the banter. People ask us, how did you guys become in 9 months? How did you guys become the biggest live show in the world and maybe the biggest show? It's very hard to count what's the biggest show, but yeah. The answer is, there's a lot of answers. One is we're absolutely authentic and genuine. Two is we really care about our community and our friends before we care about ourselves. We give away everything. But the third thing is we have a magic combination of technical analysis and fundamental analysis. So we do charting, we do fundamentals, and we also do fundamentals and charting on one show. So, hey guys, this is a great protocol. We think it's going to change the world. And then Sheldon jumps on and he says, hold on a second. I think if you're going to buy it, wait for your entry point here, wait for your entry point there. And that's the magic sauce, because I can do decent fundamentals, and Sheldon is the sniper when it comes to charting. So that's the magic of it.
He's the sniper.
And then every now and then we get CryptoBirb on, and I mean that just changes everything.
Yeah. I love coming to the rescue whenever needed, man. I'll show you one thing. Very quick. This is Bitcoin's chart, of course, on a weekly time frame, right? So let me get back very quick to what we are saying about holding over trading. And basically, like if you have a look at the like, this is 200 moving average, right? 200 week average, which tells you about 200 week price of Bitcoin on average. And basically, like, if we take and measure the average performance, let's say since the floor of the bear market, and since like to now, you basically, by just holding on average on some long-term movements, doing nothing for the past 3-4 years, well, basically you've made about like 5x, like 4 or 5x on your portfolio, right? And this is by doing nothing. And if on average, then if on long-term average, you can make about 4 or 5x in a matter of what, 2, 3, 4 years, whatever the number is.
Unleveraged and untaxed. Hold on.
Unleveraged and untaxed, right? Then how on earth is that possible that 90% of people literally blow up their accounts? Right? Well, if this is so obvious, then like for the holding you get the money, then why people would do it, right? This is like the simplest way to view it. And just like you're saying, it has so many other reasons to choose longer term trades over short term. The deeper down the hole you get, the deeper, the more addictive it becomes, right? Just like you said, the more dopamine shots you get, the more addicted you become, and the more of a gambler you become, and the more irrational just flows into your head through your head rather than rational. But speaking of fundamentals, I want to ask you guys, because I've recently seen, I think this is a very fresh topic, like with Charles Hoskinson, like what is it about? Like you got guys like what? What was that?
No. So I mean, look, let's quickly understand what happened with Charles. So first of all, I want to say at the beginning, Charles and I are good friends. And I am a big Cardano fan. I've been holding Cardano since 3 cents. I'm a big Cardano ecosystem supporter. I've invested in multiple launchpads, multiple dexes. So I really believe in the Cardano protocol. I really believe in the Cardano protocol. And Charles and I are very good friends. But we have a show every Friday. The show is Banter. Banter is where we bring on guests. And this weekend on the show, or this Friday on the show, the guests bashed Cardano. They said it was academic, etc. Now, I didn't go with that opinion because everybody knows that I'm a Cardano investor, so I'd be damned to go with that opinion. But obviously, Charles watched the video and he was quite upset about it. And I mean, so rightfully so, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, right? So everyone is entitled, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. And so, look, I think he's probably right to be upset. And if you listen to the video that he made about it, he's right. There is a problem in blockchain. There is a big problem in blockchain. The problem is that everything happens too fast. We make money too fast. We launch protocols too fast, and then they'll end up getting hacked. The expectations of the market. Sometimes I'll give you an example. I called a protocol. I told the community to buy it at, I don't know if it's 2 cents or 0.02, but whatever it is. It's called Sunny. And I really believe in the protocol, just for the record. But now it's gone a bit down, and everyone's complaining about the fact that it's gone down. I'm like, guys, you bought this a month ago. This is something that's going to work in a year or 2 years or 3 years. And, that's the problem. So I think Charles is very right in what he's saying. I think that people are expecting things to happen too quickly. I think Cardano is a much more long-term fundamental approach. It hasn't gone for the quick approach. And I think that only time will tell which is the right approach and which is the wrong approach. Cardano doesn't do things as fast as Solana, but Cardano's also never crashed, And so I think, look, on the show, the guests got a little bit anti-Cardano, and I wasn't. I was very much. I said, look, guys, Charles is a friend. I believe in a different approach. But I think he got a little bit. He got a little bit upset, and he said he's not going to come onto Crypto Banter again. I hope he does because I'm very much a friend, and I'm very.
I
much
hope he does too. He should.
Yeah.
Crypto Banter family is the best place to be. He should do it.
Yeah.
He should do it.
Yeah, but I mean,
that is crazy.
I must say, I love that.
Yeah. Sorry, Ron. So hold on. There's I think like some tiny bit of delay. But so the case is let me wrap it, right? So Charles is saying that he's kind of like mad at you because you brought the guests on the show, right? Who happened to actually have some more negative feedback about Cardano that you ever had. And yes. Charles is upset about it. Do I read it right?
Yes. I mean, let me share the tweet with you. If you give me 1 second, I'm going to just find it quickly, and then we'll put it up on the screen, and everybody can know what we're talking about. And we can actually even watch a little bit of the video. So, so let's quickly get. Let me quickly just find it. Sorry. Okay. So here's the tweet from Charles. Let me quickly just share my screen for you.
Just put it up.
There we go. Okay. So he says. This was in reply to, he says, I cannot understand why Run decided to host such garbage. I won't be going Crypto Banter again. It's pointless and creates ratings for the noise. We got a clear line of sight for all our project goals, and after more than a half a decade of work, it'll speak for itself. And I mean, yes, the first comment here, to be frank, Cryptoman Run did openly distance himself from his guests when this nonsense, and I brought it to an end. But look, my job is not to protect Cardano. My job is to get the guests talking about what they think, and to allow them to express themselves in an open, honest environment. And I think that's what I did. I think that was exactly what I did. So look, I'm upset that Charles is upset because Charles is a friend, and he's a good friend. He's one of the people that I truly respect more than many other people in the world. Because he's just a magic person through and through. But ultimately, look, I don't think that I did anything wrong. I think that I was very fair and honest, and I even stopped it at some point. I said, guys, let's not stop talking about Cardano. You know what I mean? Like, I believe in it. Charles is a friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, Charles, I'm sure Charles is a good guy. On top of it, I think he likes birds. So this is what gets us sticks together for sure.
Yeah, I want to see if I can find. I'm just quickly going to look and see if I can find some of the. I don't know if it's timestamped. I believe it is timestamped. Let's have a look here. And the market finds a direction. Hold on, let me just quickly open up the timestamps and just see if I can.
Uh-huh.
But Rand, that's what it's about, buddy. It's about allowing people to talk and to open, and it's never, you know what I mean. It's never holding anything against anyone or anything. The guys are just sharing their opinions. I believe honesty is very important in this game.
If you come to my show, why would I tell you what you're supposed to tell? Why would I tell you what you're supposed to say?
Crypto needs honesty. That's the biggest thing. You know, we're in a very confused. You know what I mean? People are getting into a lot of scams. There's a lot of meme coins running.
Okay, here's the actual part. Yeah, heard anything about Cardano. I saw a tweet the other day, which I must say I did laugh about. They said we live in a world where Airbnb owns no hotels, Uber doesn't have cars and is valued at X billion, Airbnb has no assets and is valued at Y billion, and Cardano has no smart contracts and is valued at...
Hey, actually, you guys want to know something? Me and Charles Hoskinson were supposed to fight each other.
You're supposed to fight each other?
Yeah, I swear. Back in 2019, right before the pandemic. Yeah, we were scheduled to fight each other. But
I mean, is anyone? I mean, I think we're all investing in projects. Is anyone investing in anything on Cardano yet? Has anyone seen anything?
That was my point. I think David Sachs made it on the All In podcast. Like I said the same thing to him. Like I've heard hundreds of pitches and I haven't heard anyone ever pitch me anything to do with Cardano.
Yeah, Cardano is a research project. I mean, look, it's an academic research project that holds huge promise for the future. I think aspects of what they're doing will make their way into other projects. I think a lot of enterprises are going to look hard at it because of the academic bent of Charles and the team that are working on it. But it's not going to get, well, whatever. Charles. I mean, but it's not going to get the developer community support.
It's the Xerox PARC of
yeah. Yeah,
If you guys want to know something, originally Cardano was supposed to be a gambling platform for Japan. That's what it was originally supposed to be. And it was supposed to come out with its smart contracts for gambling in 2016.
Yeah. But it's never going to get the degen developer support that we're seeing with Solana.
So you see the guests are going and going and going. I mean,
it's a PhD graveyard right now.
Well, if they want to, they need EVM support. I mean, you need EVM support if you want to have the degen developers, because every
well, no, I'm going to disagree with you there. I think that if you look at Solana, so I mean, you guys can welcome to go and watch it. It's on our channel. I'm not going to hold the whole stream, but that's what happened. I was pretty neutral, I think, right through the whole thing. And yeah, I mean, Charles got a bit upset, but I will contact Charles separately and just have a chat to him.
Yeah, do it. I mean, there is a case where, because of some sort of like coincidental words that may happen to be in the conversation, some people take it a bit more defensive perhaps at times, right, with the larger context. So they tend to select certain words and they focus too much on it, and it sort of like embraces some sort of like miscommunication, which is very strange. But that is exactly what happens. And I with this amount of let's say I wanted to say hate, but it's not really hate. Like this sort of like maybe disbelief, or maybe perhaps it's disbelief. There's actual fundamental disbelief that Cardano is supposed to actually pull off what they promised, and regardless they do or not, like this is what smells like a disbelief. And disbelief, if you look up the charts, is usually bullish, right? So it's pretty crazy. Agree, Sheldon?
Yeah, I mean,
I agree, brother.
I don't think that. There is, I mean, Cardano, everyone says, what are they doing? They've delivered everything they said they're going to deliver. Now, of course, they may deliver things later. In blockchain, you can't believe any protocol in terms of timing, because it's not like they know what the roadmap is. Every time they do something, they're doing it for the first time ever. And when you're doing something for the first time ever, you never know what the obstacles that you're going to have in your way. So, yes, Cardano was maybe a little bit delayed, but look at ETH 2.0. ETH 2.0 is now delayed again by another 6 months. So it's, I don't know. Look, I'm a big Cardano fan. I think Cardano is going to be one of the most important layer ones out there. I think Solana is going to be one of the most important layer ones. I think Ethereum is going to be one of the most important layer ones. I'm not. I think this is a 100-year race or 50-year race, and we're in year 2 or 3, and that's it.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Sheldon, play. Can you play a Cardano chart, perhaps?
No problem.
Let's break it down. Speaking of Cardano, let's play the chart.
No problem. I'll get it set up quickly. While I'm setting it up, I think jumping back to the whole TA and FA and why it's also important is, especially, everyone's looking at Solana now. Everyone's looking at all these sort of coins now because they have now erupted. They've made massive gains. And now all of a sudden, everyone's starting to understand what Solana actually is. And I think now, you just said now, Cardano is sitting more or less. Let me call up the chart here. It's sitting more or less in the disbelief phase, which means there's no news on it yet. We don't know. And this is what I love about TA as well at times is, sometimes we can see a breakout. We can see something happening in the actual chart. And then all of a sudden, news will come and this has now launched or something has happened. And I think this is where still, the power of understanding both and looking at both, especially from an investor's point of view is great because, your emotionless part is going to help you get the entry and it's going to make you understand where you must hold and where sort of warning signs. And then you got the fundamental belief of how this thing can actually run in the world and how people can actually use it, and the problem is with this is where the pros and cons come. And this is why I think it's so great. I love fundamentals. And what Randy's saying is 100% right. You cannot make more money by getting a right entry and holding it, especially if you end up catching a project that's very early and you can hold it for 2-3 years. That is the ultimate way. The problem is, the system that we are in now that basically teaches that retail chase pumps. That's how they've been brought up because the coin will already be, call it 1,000, 5,000% up. And now only the retail will find out about that coin. And now they will be buying. So, I think by understanding both, because people are getting sucked into buying pumps. And when they're coming brand new to the market, they hear this coin, but they don't understand that these coins have already done 10,000%. And there are coins that are going to take over the world and do fantastic. But that's the first thing they know. So they look for the coin that's done a couple 100%. They think it's going to do 10 times more. They end up buying up in those things. And that's their introduction to crypto. You know what I mean? You can't tell me that all of our intros have been exactly like that. So, you know, looking at, obviously Cardano's come from a very far run, you know, that was ended up, you know, where we're looking at, where it wasn't even, you know, a cent, 2 cents. Not even a year ago, just to see where we are now. It's already done.
Yeah, if you have the
movement.
chart, if you have the chart, can you add it?
Can you see my chart? Let me see.
not
Sorry,
yet.
man. I thought I was sharing my screen. No problem.
No worries.
Let's get it in here. Let me know if you can see it.
Now it's showing.
There we go. So we can see, obviously, Cardano, you know, it was sitting in the region of 2 cents. It's crazy. You know what I mean? From 2 cents all the way to $2 to $3.
I bought it 3 cents. I didn't buy it 2 cents.
Wow.
I bought it 3 cents in, yeah, it was about a year ago. And I bought it 3 cents. Now, you know, they've been great entry. And I'm just going to keep holding them and holding them.
Exactly. So this is where we need to now be teaching the people that that's the entries you want to be getting. Now, all of a sudden, you know, you come in as a TA, you understand that this could be a possible great coin in the future. But now you come and you look at this chart and we like, you know, me and Birb will sit here and be like, like it's great. But, you know, from where we've come in the last year, you know, there might be a better buying opportunity in the next year now, in the next few months, if I really want to hold this for the thing. Or I already know how far along it's been, so I'll be testing the waters here, adding in here, you know what I mean? But I also know the possibilities that we've made already 1,000x or 1,000% growth to the upward side. I know at any point there can be some sort of pullbacks, but you see how for the first time it just gives you 2 opinions. And what I love about it is where you can jump on, you can say, okay, the chart's looking great and the fundamentals are great. I know I can hold this for the next 5 years. You know what I mean? And I think the biggest thing, especially new people coming into the market, we need to understand we're in a very struggling world at the moment. So a lot of people are coming in. I can probably say about 50% of all the people that watch your shows don't even have $1,000 to $5,000. There's a lot of people that don't have that sort of money. Now you come in as an investor, that's great. Some people don't have jobs. Some people don't have work. You know what I mean? All I have is my $2,000. You know, as an investor, that's great, but you know what I mean? Like, you know, you can hold this coin and it can possibly, you know, make you this sort of money. But the problem is they come in with $2,000 now and they buy the coins after a 1,000% or after 3,000% already. That's all they got. That's their bread and butter. So, you know, by using between the both, and I think the only thing that I love about it is your fundamental wallet, your long-term wallet is a very volatile wallet. You know, you don't care about that thing. You buy your coin here. It can be 30% down now. It can be 500% up in the next month. It's a wallet that goes through and you got to allow it to change the world, as what Rand says. You have to allow the motion to flow. You have to allow the flushing out. And then I love having a structured wallet, one that comes with rules, one that helps me, you know, a little bit of risk management, when to take profits, when to that. The only reason I'm doing that is because I've gone into the market too many times in the last 2 years, 100%. And I've never had cash when the big dip comes out of nowhere. And I think that was one small thing that helped me. It can either help with fundamentals or TA, was having some sort of laddering out or some sort of format, because now all of a sudden we had a special a week ago, or especially in this week now, you know what I mean? And now I'm able to deploy and I've managed to learn from that, where I was getting fully in the market. I had nothing ever pulling me out. And then you fall in love. You've just made so much money. You fall in love. And, you know, we can never forget and go back. You know, let me just get this here.
Yeah, while you're playing charts, and searching for the right one, everybody, I want to remind you very quick before I actually need to switch over to my car for the road. But I just want to remind you guys that if you have just joined this stream, we are discussing with Banter family, with Banter team, Ran, Northern, Sheldon, the sniper. We are discussing, you know, and comparing the fundamental discussions versus the technical discussions, what matters most. And I definitely want you guys to smash the like, hit the subscribe button, leave some questions. Perhaps if our guests are pretty kind, and they always are, perhaps we can take about like 1 to 5 minutes at the very end of the session to answer some questions. And while Sheldon is playing the charts, you know, I'm super curious. While I'm switching over to the car, I'm super curious for for the entire community, the combination of Nest community and the Banter farm. I want to hear your opinion as well. You know, about what do you think the next moves for Bitcoins are, and I'm super curious also about Litecoin.
I want to hear your opinion. I mean, I need to know from you whether you see one more leg down of this thing, or whether we've seen the worst.
So tell like go ahead and start off with like saying your thoughts, and I'll join off my car in about 2, 3, 5 minutes, and I'll continue off the car. Okay.
No problem. Sheldon, what are your thoughts? Is there another leg down, or is it straight up from here?
As we've been speaking in the week, buddy, we hit the 55K support. So we still have this beautiful trend in play here, which I'll draw now. So we're good for now. I'm glad we're coming and testing down now. I'm actually glad we're having a pullback in this part now, other than just going too quick. When the market goes too quick, guys, and it really, really starts to accelerate, we end up buying in very tough areas. So I'm glad it's actually gradually growing its way up. I actually feel like we're in this position over
You've
here.
got a higher high, a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low, a higher high.
Exactly.
And that's in the weekly. You've also got a much higher high from earlier this year. That's in the weekly. If you go back into the daily, I think you're probably going to see a similar pattern, right?
Exactly. So on the daily, we're looking great. Let me just get my, we were speaking about us.
You see, 4 and 5 is what I'm asking you about. I think that we could have a bounce down on 4.
I agree as well. I agree. And I'm glad we said on Friday that we're looking at a little push up, and this is what we're getting right now out of the market. So there's nothing telling me we are going to get a higher high just yet. We are currently making lower lows and lower highs on the daily. We do have the stochastic making its way up slowly, but not massive volume, not all that. So we spoke about it last week. Futures closeouts. That's usually a nice little shakeout event, and that gives us the 25th is showing me rejection. 25th is showing me rejection. 24th to 25th, 26th is showing me where the fork and
Wednesday. You're talking Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is exactly when I'm expecting the shenanigans from the futures. So to me, I think a good summary of what might happen is I think we'll touch the support line, and then one of two things may happen. Either we break straight through the support line, in which we know in which case we know that we're going straight up.
Then it'll do some sort of head and shoulders if it does that. Yes, inverse.
Or it's going to bounce, it's going to hit that resistance line, and then it's going to come straight down, and it's going to 53,000 is my worst case scenario. And so what I've done is I've actually hedged, and I deployed about 20% of my capital. So my cash is back down to 20%. That's where I am now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you. We're going to do a stream after this. On that stream, I'll show you guys what I bought. I didn't buy it in the KuCoin account because I've got to start putting trades into the KuCoin account. But nonetheless, I did deploy. I posted on Twitter. We can look at what I deployed at as well.
Yeah, amazing. And I think definitely we are going to have, if it's not a double bottom to a quick lower low, it makes sense for leverage. I think everyone's longing back in the market. You know how it is. 1 week the whole world's saying Bitcoin's going to 100K, and then all of a sudden the next week everyone's saying it's going to 30K. I love how emotion completely runs this whole damn market.
So we actually for once did see some of the leverage coming down. I don't know if I can share my screen because we're not driving. I think Birb's driving. But the leverage actually came down a bit. Not a lot, not enough.
Wow.
Not enough, but for the first time, we actually saw the leverage coming down a bit, which is ironic because today,
yeah, maybe they were shorting. Maybe, you know what I mean?
No. How the leverage works is the leverage. If you short the leverage, it's that they call that negative leverage. So this is all long leverage. This is long leverage.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. Great. And what we can see at the moment is we're getting a little Bitcoin pull up at the moment, but volume is decreasing. So remember, you just want volume to back the move. So it's showing us, there's nothing yet for no big breakouts yet for Bitcoin to get to the 80, 90K just yet. I do think it's coming. I think after this 5, and I know you agree with me, Rand, I think December, especially even the last week, I think this next week, we should get over and done with this redness, get the fear and greed down, get the leverage down, and then continue. I feel we're very similar to what we did in this area over here. Just shake it out.
I'd love to hear what Birb's calling for the next week or so. I wonder if he's calling another leg down. I think that Birb is an optimist. So he's an optimist and a chartist. Because I think you get two types of chartists. You get optimistic chartists and pessimistic chartists. And the pessimistic chartist will always see the negative case. And I mean, I think you're an optimistic chartist too. You're always positive. You're realistic, but you're positive.
I'm a bull, baby. I'm a bull.
Yeah, you're a bull. Yeah. I tell you one thing. I learned a lesson in 2017 is never try and be a bull in a bear market.
Mm-hmm.
Never try and be a bull in a bear market, because.
But I think this is where the two things will gel very well, right? What happens? I know we're thinking that there possibly will never be a same sort of bear market what we had the last 2 times. What happens if we do go through a year sort of bear cycle? I think it's very important, to set that thoughts on, Bitcoin goes to 150K now in the next month, 2 months. I mean, how are you playing it? What you sort of, because to say that there'll never be a bear market is great, but there possibly could be a dry streak again as we had in this little area over here. You know what I mean? For a while.
You know what I think? Yep. I think that if we have a bear market now, the bear market is going to be because of a world economy bear market. I don't think it's going to be a crypto bear market
crash. I agree.
The last bear market was a crypto bear market. It was, crypto went up too fast, then crypto collapsed, flashed out all the leverage, flashed out all the retail investors, etc. The next bear now that's not the case, because people have realized that this technology is real and it's here to stay and it's going to change the world. The next bear market is, I think, going to be driven by a much bigger bear market, which is going to be stocks and everything. I think it's going to be an everything bear market. And I think it gets triggered by like a collapse of Evergrande in China or something similar that we haven't yet seen, right? And then I think that when that happens, we're at the mercy of the big market cycle. And I think we will always overperform the big market cycle and underperform the big market cycle, depending on whether the market's going up or down. So if the market's going up, we will overperform the bull market cycle. If the market goes down, we will shoot way below the bear market cycle. That's just the way.
Do you see a stock market crash in the next 2 years? A big one?
Yes.
So going in forward in this, I think it will take down crypto with the 2.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
That's why you want to have some cash. You want to have some cash. You've got to remember that we're living in a market where things are doing 200x and 300x and 400x. You want to have some cash on the side, because when this thing comes down, you might get 1 or 2 of the last buying opportunities you've ever seen in your life. Like, there is a chance that we'll get Bitcoin again at 25 or 35,000. It could happen. You want to be there when it happens.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And I think this is the power, guys, between the two. Fundamentally, you'll just find out about Avalanche now. You'll love the project. And then TA-wise, you'll come and have a look. You'll be like, wow, you know what I mean? This coin was $9 3 months ago, and I was thinking 135. And it'll just teach you a little bit of stability of, I'm buying this project now. It has done ridiculous things. So I'm not going to crazy out too much now. I'll start laddering in, let it do what it's got to do. But I know when I really catch it at big special, like,
I missed it. I completely missed it. I completely missed on it, to be honest.
The Avalanche.
And yeah. I'm not angry at myself. I missed out. Like, so many people, ask me because, so many people ask me, like, how do you manage not to miss out anything? Or like, how do you manage, so many positions so that you don't miss anything? Like, this is one large BS, because by definition, by purchasing certain coin or asset, you decide to choose it over other assets, right? And this is like, you agree by default that you are going to miss out on other asset just for the sake of your decision. So it's impossible to actually like stop missing out, right? It's impossible to own everything.
Birb, let me make it very simple for you. I told our audience this, and I think it's a lesson in life, right?
Yeah.
I used to go to Brazil every year. I used to go to a city in Brazil called Floripa. Okay, now Floripa is a city in Brazil where people go in December and they have the most beautiful woman in the world there. Okay, really the most beautiful woman in the world. And when we used to walk into the nightclubs, it used to be walking into an extravaganza of beautiful women. That's what it was like, right? It was like you walk in and you look left and you look right, and they're all the most beautiful women you've ever seen. And you got to keep reminding yourself that you can't be with all of them. So it's the same thing with coins. There's so many cool coins. You just got to keep reminding yourself that there's only one, there's only X amount of time, and you just can't be with all of them. There's only X amount of money, and you can't be with all of them. That's just the way I see it.
Good comparison. Good comparison. This is pretty laid out, pretty straightforward. I love this comparison. So what did we arrive for the conclusion for Cardano, for Litecoin? Did we manage to get Litecoin on the charts?
Not Litecoin yet. So I don't know what your thoughts are for Bitcoin. I'm thinking, let me just mash it up here. I'm thinking a little test up, and then I am thinking a possible shakeout if we don't break a higher high. So Bitcoin, little push up, test resistance, a possible another little shakeout. Leverage is still a little bit high, and then the breakout for remaining of December for us to chase the next sort of levels. And obviously, this is my main trend. I don't want Bitcoin to get much lower of, you know what I mean? Because a lot of guys are saying maybe this cycle's prolonged. Maybe we have the Q4 slow and like, you know what I mean, this, and then, the Q1 next year is the actual bull, like the actual real bull cycle. So I think this month's important. If Bitcoin can get, by the early of December, Bitcoin can break all-time high, then I think we're on. We can chase the 100K. And I think at any point, if we drop below 50, you know what I mean, then we're looking at Q1.
What do you think of Plan B's thesis that we're going to 100K in the next 9 days?
Wow, I'll be highly impressed. I'll be super impressed if it does. I'll be very impressed.
Well, I hope he's right. I hope he's right.
Me too.
Birb, what do you think? Is there one more leg down, or is it straight? Is it straight to the moon?
Yeah, listen, I think Sheldon has a lot of good point in here. The truth is that the market is still leveraged. I mean, the market still doesn't fear. Like when I was coming over to the Banter, you remember that about the spin out of hope and everything that we played live of 29,000, 30,000 slows and everything. I was way more convinced about market not really having much more downside potential because there was an extreme fear in the market going on for 80 days straight, right? So this was a very strong point trigger, let's say, for me to load a lot of money in there. Right now, just I put out every now and then, every second day, I put out my Bitcoin reports and played live on Twitter and everything. So you basically still have the chance, although I don't think it's going to be this easy. You probably need a lot of FUD in there. But there is a chance if some unpredicted news comes out, like some super powerful news, just like the second Evergrande like news, but the real one that it collapses all of a sudden or something and it draws down literally, pulls all the markets down the drain. Then perhaps it could get a bit more hit, right? But unless that happens, I cannot really see it, going below 53,000, 50.
But do you see us going? But do you see us going to 53? That's the question. Do you see us going to 53?
So that's my point. Unless nothing unexpected happens, I'm pretty much pointing towards 60 to 63 for the short term. I have no doubts about the new all-time highs hitting, so I'm super curious to see what November takes us. But basically 53 levels, in my opinion, can only happen if you have this large news come out, right? This large news that would shake this entire financial markets, globally. I mean, the stocks, the equities, metals, everything. Perhaps some unpredicted, ace card played by Fed about the interest rates, all of a sudden rapid, increase or something that would disbalance this entire global ecosystem of the markets. This could take Bitcoin probably down to 50, 53, but unless that happens, I see nothing but consolidation here locally, 55, 60,000 consolidation, then move up. People, you see, you draw this chart, right? And many people bring in a discussion this Wyckoff distribution chart, right? And the case is that it looks like current pattern, current formation. It looks kind of a bit similar to what we saw in April and May.
This one
right?
here.
You agree? Yeah, it's kind of it's tiny bit similar, right? And people always see, okay, they still are in the PTSD, right? So they are PTSD after this crash in May. So they would look at it and they would think, okay, we are broke again, right? This is about to happen again. And the only, I should say, not even a problem, but the solution is that two chart patterns that look exactly the same rarely ever played exactly the same. The wise money, the smart money knows perfectly that people would be in the PTSD after losing money, and that they would expect this to happen and repeat again. So they would sell off before that happens, just to protect themselves, and they are selling off into actual strong hands. If you saw,
and if you look here, Birb, this side here, they were offloading a lot more the previous time.
Yeah.
So every time we were getting their big volume spikes, we don't have volume in the market. We actually haven't had a great volume for the last 3 to 6 months. We actually haven't had a lot. The only thing is, I don't think we wanted to go to 53, 50K like if it's got to do it, it must do it now, please, because it takes time to recover from that. You know, we always need, because if it comes down, then it's sideways, you know, it's going to delay things. And I think the quicker we can just get it over and done with, you know, I mean, let it happen and
Guys,
let's continue.
Guys, we have a stream starting on our channel in 3 minutes. So I think we need to bring this one to an end. Let's get everybody. Yeah, if anybody wants to join us, we're having a stream. It's on the Crypto Banter YouTube channel. We're starting it in about 2 or 3 minutes. Love to get you guys. Love to get you guys on. Birb, thank you, my friend.
Let me wrap it. I appreciate you guys. You know I love you with all my heart. You know I love Banter community. Like I cannot wait to meet you guys in Cape Town down there in January or so. I love you guys so much. Thank you for coming over. Everybody, you have to make sure you actually follow Ran on Twitter. Crypto Round Man, you have to follow right now on Twitter. You have to follow Sheldon the Sniper on Twitter. You have to follow Crypto Banter on Twitter. Do it. Go ahead. We are going to also give away, final reminder, we have a giveaway going on where you can win monthly subscription in the Birb Nest. Their link to the giveaway is in the description to the video. Go ahead. And there was a secret code which is played right now, Banter Fam. You put it in there and you actually stand the chance for winning. And I appreciate you guys coming over, taking your time. And
thank you, brother.
You have a
much love, brother. Much love. Only love, man. Only love.
God bless.
God bless,
brother.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, and everybody, and that's it. We are coming to an end of this session. In the meantime, I had to literally like switch over to the chart to my car. But well, I hope you enjoyed the stream. Make sure you actually press the like, hit the subscribe button, smash the likes, leave comments and questions, because I'll do my best to go along with my team and cover them as much as possible. And well, the life is crazy, and I had to switch over to the car to continue, but I could not really drop the chance, to talk to Ran. I couldn't really drop the chance and miss the chance to talk to Sheldon, to Banter family. I love you all, guys. Hope you enjoy the 14-day free trading congress we have. And this is day 10. There is a show coming up right now as well for the participants for the congress. It's starting, I think, right now, so you don't want to miss it. If you haven't subscribed yet to the congress, it's free of charge. You still have a couple days more. Go ahead to the birbnest.com/500k. Get yourselves a free ticket, and rush over right now immediately to another session which we have over there. Not going to take it any longer. I appreciate you guys. Love you all, and I see you on the next shows. God bless. And that's all. Bye-bye.